Ya, ahora sí.
¿Estamos online ya?
Sí, está todo listo.
En el fondo a las 11 empezamos con...
Está con online porque ya están en YouTube en vivo.
Okay.
Empieza, Claudia.
Hello everyone. Good morning and thank you for joining us today to the presentation of the book Altered Views, Voluspa Jarpa, as part of the program of the Frankfurt Book Fair. This book corresponds to the publication of the Chilean Pavilion at the 58th Venice Bienal of Art, presented by Voluspa Jarpa and curated by Agustín Pérez Rubio. Voluspa Jarpa is one of the most prominent Chilean artists in the international circuits. Her projects are reflections on big installations revolving around memories, which have led her to contemporary art, museums, and centers, mainly in Latin America and Europe. She was the first Chilean artist invited to individual shows, and her works at Malva, Museo de Arte Latinoamericano de Buenos Aires. And also the most relevant international events, including Havana Biennale in 1997, Istanbul Bienal in 2011, Mercosur Biennale Porto Alegre 2011, Sao Paulo Biennale 2014, and the 7th and even the Shanghai Biennale 2018. Agustín Pérez Rubio, for the other side, has curated over 100 exhibitions at the important museums, art centers, biennales, many biennales, and he was the chief curator and director of Music and the artist director of Malva. Last year, he created the Chile Pavilion at 58th Biennale, Venice Biennale, and now he is the curator of the 11th Berlin Biennale. Well, he has been working with Voluspa for years, started for the solo show at Malva, and that place was the foundation for what was the presentation in the Venice Biennale last year, and is the theme of include the book that we are presenting now. We as Puro Chile are here because our mission is to contribute with the circulation and the valorization national and internationally the Chilean contemporary art. For this reason, we invest great efforts in being present in spaces of great international visibility, such as Frankfurt Book Fair, as the biggest book fair in the world. We want also to thank you, those who have made this book possible, as the Minister of Culture, Arts and Heritage, the DIRAC, Direction of International Relations of Chile, and Antena. Now, I will let you with Voluspa and Agustín. Agustín is also here in the book, the editor of the book, Altered Views, by Voluspa Jarpa. Afterwards, I will tell you at the end where you can find the book and where you can introduce and read more about what is it related. And now, please, Voluspa and Agustín, welcome to present the book. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Claudia, and of course, Puro Chile for making this book possible together with all the people that you said. But also I would like to thank Frankfurt Book Fair, because for us it's a very important international fair where many knowledge, many books around the world are all together with different perspectives. Also, we are very happy, Voluspa and I, because what we heard is our book, also Altered Views, is part of these 3 books for Latin American who were in this hot list for 2020 at Bookk Fair. This is important because, you know, this is a long journey for both of us, not only starting on our exhibition at Malva, but also in this project that I had the opportunity to curate together. In the end of 2017, if I'm not wrong, Voluspa, after our success show at Malva, called me one day and she said, Agustín, I would love that you help me and you curate my presentation or project for the public competition that Chilean Ministry of Culture, they do to be the artist for Chilean Pavilion. And absolutely, I was, for one hand, I was so honored, you know, that an artist choose you and select, but also it was a very important and quite risky task because, you know, for many years, Voluspa was working in a project related to unclassified documents related to the hidden history of Latin America. But one of my conditions, it was, well, it was closed after 15 years of research doing this type of work. And now, if we work together, it will be good to do a kind of conclusion of what this project takes you for the next step. And she very, in a smart, sharp, and in a very inspiring way, she was getting the traces and the conclusions for that project and put all together in this new project that you will see, Alter Views. This project and this book, essentially, it's a book fundamental for not only people that it's interested on art, on contemporary art, also on Latin American, or even on the work of Voluspa. It's an essential bibliography for many people that it's interested in contemporary art, but also on history, on theory, feminist theory, also on the colonial perspective, because also it has many, many ideas related the colonial museums and also the coloniality of gays. Also, I think it's important tool for many researchers about and curators about museums and museology. You know, this is an important material in terms of race, gender, and of course, in this discursive of what nowadays we can look our past history and we can move forward in our relation with the institutions that we work with. So you can see now the cover, it was before, now you have the entrance of the pavilion with this museum and just the first cases. The museum and the project of Alter Views has 3 different sections. The first one, it was this hegemonic museum that Voluspa embody together with 6 different cases. This is a view inside where you have the second case with this black sculpture of these men. In the top, in the corner, you see the third case of the human zoos. Also, you can see this the own Claudia in the 5th. And all of them are around this kind of mirroring sculpture, like a kind of panoptic. And this is myself just inside this sculpture when we discover a kind of panoptic surveillance, all the knowledge, all the cases that later Voluspa will explain much better. These is cases that complete and that give a lot of information related to the history where Voluspa based this museum of the hegemonic. Of course, this is another image. You know, there is a second one that Voluspa will said, the second space that is related, the subaltern portraits gallery. And this is just the last step and the last final opera, emancipated opera. I don't want to continue. I would love to give you have here like a short introduction of text for all of you, even also for the Latin people or other people that you can see much better also the different parts, the Hegemonic Museum, the Subaltern Portraits Gallery, and the Emancipated Opera. And I would love to give the voice to Voluspa, who is gonna speak in Spanish, but who is gonna, show us this. Also, she prepared this PowerPoint, and everybody, we can follow her also in English, because the text will be following her speaking in English, like a kind of resume. Thank you very much, Voluspa.
Thank you, Agustín. Bueno, muchas gracias, Agustín, por tus palabras y tu explicación. Siempre un agrado escucharte. Muchas gracias a Puro Chile por esta presentación. Y solo decirles que entonces, tal como estaba refiriendo Agustín, el libro es la presentación de la obra que curó Agustín en el Pabellón de Venecia de Chile, y el libro toma el mismo título de la muestra, que se llama Alter Views, miradas alteradas, y que fue justamente un concepto que discutimos mucho sobre cómo invertir la mirada dominante hacia hacer al objeto de un discurso hegemónico dominante como objeto de estudio. En ese sentido, el pabellón está dividido en 3 núcleos exhibitivos y también narrativos y estéticos. El primero se llama el Museo del Hombre Hegemónico, o The Hegemonic Museum. El segundo es una galería de retratos pictóricos al óleo, donde aparecen esos sujetos que fueron subalternizados a través de estos discursos hegemónicos. Y el tercer núcleo es una ópera en video que propone un punto de vista de este diálogo entre dominantes y subalternos, y al mismo tiempo propone también, piensa una tercera alternativa de emancipación de esos discursos. El primer núcleo, el de Hegemonic Museum, está dividido en 6 microhistorias europeas que fueron parte de la investigación que hicimos para poder entender cuáles son las categorías en las que se sustenta la hegemonía, llegando a la conclusión de que esas categorías hegemónicas, eurocéntricas, están asociadas en las divisiones de clase, la división de razas y la división de género. Entonces, estas 6 historias cuentan un poco, se anclan en tratar de desentrañar de qué se trata esta triada clase, raza y género. Y de esa manera busqué 6 microhistorias europeas, y una norteamericana, la verdad, en relación a América Latina. La primera de ellas es del siglo XVII y cuenta la historia de los hermanos de Witt, que fueron canibalizados y que fueron gobernantes republicanos holandeses, ¿no? Luego la segunda historia, que es el caso 2, cuenta la historia de la supresión del primer partido democrático de mujeres de Viena de 1848. El caso 3, como refería Agustín, se refiere a los zoológicos humanos, que fue un fenómeno social, cultural, científico que se dio en Europa entre 1848 y 1950. En más de 70 ciudades europeas se llevaron a cabo distintos zoológicos humanos. Después vuelvo a la historia de la Salpêtrière, el hospital donde se funda y se inventa el concepto de la histeria, que es algo con lo que ya he trabajado antes, y eso cierra el siglo XVII al XIX, y hay 2 casos que tienen que ver con el siglo XX. El primero es cómo se hace emerger la noción de república bananera para denostar a las repúblicas independientes jóvenes y nuevas, básicamente latinoamericanas, y que es una operación llevada a cabo por United Fruit Company y por la CIA en 1954 para derrocar al presidente de Guatemala. Y el sexto y último caso, que es parte del Museo del Hombre Hegemónico, habla de la Operación Gladio durante la Guerra Fría, que son estos atentados de falsa bandera para mantener el control de una cierta línea ideológica al interior del desarrollo de la Guerra Fría en Europa. Invitamos a 6 distintos escritores, críticos y curadores hacerse cargo cada uno de estos casos, cada uno de ellos escribe acerca de estos casos, bajo la idea de desentrañar la pregunta inicial a la que hacía referencia Agustín, que es pensar y ir al origen de poder buscar cómo se configura la mirada modernista, eurocéntrica y colonial. Y esa mirada que luego se expande de Europa a Estados Unidos y construye un desprecio simbólico que se impone como un sometimiento político, cultural y económica hacia las llamadas regiones no hegemónicas. Esa es la pregunta de base del pabellón, digamos, ¿no? ¿Cómo se construyó ese pensamiento?
A mí me gusta, I'm sorry, Voluspa, I would like, if you go back to your PowerPoint, I would like to acknowledge the amazing work of the different authors that we invite. And also I would like to, to speak, to explain to the people why this is crucial, because the book has a long text writing by myself as a curator with an introduction and also with other 3 parts related to the specific space that we are visiting, the Hegemonic Museum, the Subaltern Portraits Gallery, and the Emancipating Opera. But in this first step, that is giving this context, this colonialistic, racist, historically subjugating this knowledge that our history was produced. I think it was very important, the apport for all of these cases, as Voluspa said, all these writers, that they are very important people, not only in terms of art, also in terms of writing. We have for the first case, the David brothers, Charles Esche, who maybe you know because he's an important curator, the director of Maraben Museum. He curated, of course, Sao Paulo Bienale, also Istanbul Bienale, and he's an important writer also and doing a program related art and politics. The second case, it was more specifically related with Vienna, with Austria, with Vienna. And we give the opportunity to Sabrine Wretze-Weiser to write, because she's an important curator developing such a feminist background, with an amazing exhibition, not only in Generali Foundation, where she was in Vienna being the curator and director, also during her time at MoMA in New York, doing exhibitions of Carol Sliman and other ones. And it was for her a challenge to deep into her own history, because I think she felt really proud to have the opportunity to look back in the history and to be really more deep in this occasion of this women's democratic party of the women's, that it was erased. The third one, it's an important colleague. Many of you know Andrea Junta as a writer, as an academic, and also as one of the curators of this important project, Radical Women, and also she has an amazing books related to the avant-garde in Latin America. And she gave all her knowledge into this strange case of the successful, very racist successful of the European, looking into these human zoos for more than a century. The other one, the fourth case that is related to Hysteria, it's Adriana Valdez, who she is the president of the Spanish language in Chile, an amazing writer, also on feminist studies, but also on political subjects and art subjects into the Chilean context. So she's giving her writing into this notion of the hysteric woman from Charcot. The fifth one, it's our colleague and very well-known curator, Cuauhtémoc Medina, who maybe you know as a chief curator of MUAC in Mexico, but also as a curator of Shanghai Biennale, the last edition, where Sylvain Voluspa was part, but also Manifesta and other big events and artistic practices where he digs between art and politics. And finally, a Chilean academic writer, even a theater writer and play, who helps also Voluspa in the writing of the emancipated opera lyrics that you will have at the end of the book. That is Alberto Mayol. If you see, for us, it was very important to be very diverse in the way that we have two European writers, two Chilean and two Latin American, in the sense like not Chilean, one Mexican, one Argentina, 50% men, 50% women. And I think that gives an important knowledge about these cases in the first part of the book in the Hegemonic Museum. Thank you, Voluspa.
Bueno, tal como decía Agustín, el encargo que le dimos a cada uno de los escritores, a quienes le agradecemos mucho su participación y paciencia de esperar que salga este libro, llevamos 2 años haciéndolo, el inicio de este proyecto de investigación que toma como cruce de partida estos casos de la historia europea que van del siglo XVII al siglo XX. El trabajo artístico estuvo basado en el acto de ver, observar y analizar cómo se construyó esa mirada eurocéntrica que luego se universaliza. Para ello buscamos rescatar cuáles fueron los conceptos que fueron acuñados por esta perspectiva eurocéntrica para poder arrojar luz sobre la violencia con la que el mundo se reduce a un modelo expansionista, colonialista y desarrollista y hegemónico. Y comprobarlo a través de casos concretos, a partir de estas microhistorias, ¿no? A partir de las cuales se construye y estructura esta conceptualización derivada también de discursos que son científicos, políticos, económicos y culturales. Las otras 2 partes del libro también recogen las otras 2 partes del pabellón, que son, como decía Agustín, la galería de retratos de los subalternos que en el Museo del Hombre Hegemónico están suprimidos y que solo aparecen en la segunda parte, como imágenes de gran retrato que arman una instalación pictórica hecha al óleo, que también están en el libro registrados. Y la tercera parte, como muy bien decía Agustín, es la Emancipating Opera, que es esta pieza de video que hace un diálogo cantado, que fue hecho por músicos y justamente en colaboración la letra con Alberto Mayol, y músicos chilenos y cantantes chilenos, grabado en la cordillera de los Andes, para poder encontrar una tercera posición y un diferente lugar de este binomio de hegemonía y subalternidad.
Thank you, Voluspa. Now we are going to see just one screenshot for every of the section. Here we have just the beginning of this section of the book with a logo, special logo that it was designed together with all the book by Vaca, this amazing group of designers from Venezuela that also we would like to acknowledge because they made an extraordinary work also taking into the consideration the way that also the books from these kind of European past was produced, and also to subvert, as Voluspa is doing this subversion of the gaze, how we look now the Europeans, you know, modernity, the European context, in order to understand where is coming from all of these race, patriarchal society, the non-egalitarian society. So at the same time in the typography also, they did these amazing things. That's why you have a lot of gold, you have different perspective, and they were using one specific graphic just from the first part, from the Hegemonic Museum. Now we see a very important part in a special, after all the text and all the images for the pavilions, we have these amazing pages that the designers made as a kind of layers, different layers in this transparent paper, who shows all the resources, graphic resources and research that Voluspa and all the team were producing and finding, no, in relation with every specific case. So we have now here on the left, we have all the different engraves and illustrations about the second case of the Democratic Party of the Women in Vienna. And on the other hand, on the right, we see the different illustrations, photograph of the Europeans looking, you know, in these human zoos in different parts of this, in different cities of Europe, from Crystal Palace in Spain to l'Exposition Universelle de Paris, in Brussels, in London. So these are a lot of resources, you know, that are not just inside the work. Some of them they are, but also we wanted to give the people to have the opportunity to understand the amount of research and knowledge that also this project creates. And graphically, it's amazing, these different pages that are facing one to each other in these intertwining different epochs and different ages and different times and knowledges. Can we go to the second section? This is, if you see up in the app of the page, we have these two kind of bells or cues on gold. This is marking the different sections of the book. And we have this amazing photograph that it was how it was looking in the pavilion, looking using this perspective, you know, and on the other hand, subverted this view with the different sections of the subaltern portraits gallery with the Selkmans and also Katrillanka there. The next one on black and white is the fifth, if the Arvades. In the middle, the Beat brothers. Also on red, the hysterics of Charcot, and on black, all the paintings related the sixth case. But yes, sorry?
Gladio.
Yeah, the Gladio operation, or the Stay Behind cases, that is the title of the first case. But these are the ones that appears now in a very heroic moment, not erased like it was in the first space in the Hegemonic Museum. And finally, let's go to the third one. We gave you only one shot. These are two images of the video of this emancipating opera that you saw at the beginning with the face of the arriero. Voluspa gave the opportunity in this non-bipolar way, by dichotomic between hegemonic and subalternism. She gave the third way to embrace this notion of how to move forward. And she gave two examples. One, it's on the right with this example of the Arrieros de los Andes, this community in the up north in the mountains of Chile, between Chile and Argentina. And the second one is in the body of this woman that it's touching and reading these very terrific books that are part of our history, like for example, l'Issue de Égalité des Êtres Humains, that it was one of the most important books that later then the Nazis were using as a part of the derogatory way to understand other kind of races. And the woman that is reading this is a trans artist and actress and activist, Daniela Vega, who maybe many of you know, because she was the first trans actress to present in the Oscars of Hollywood one award for her work on the film A Beautiful Woman. How do you translate? A fantastic woman. A fantastic woman. A fantastic woman. And she is at the end the one who gave these notions about who does it mean to be a woman nowadays, and what is to move forward, not in a very biological way. So with this, we only wanted to give some clues, and you can touch different ideas in terms of history, race, feminist, queer, you know, the colonial perspective, and museology, you know. So I think that this book, it gives you a very big amount of information, not only through the text, also with the with the resources that Voluspa was digging and also amplifying this notion. But as she said, these are only 6 cases that later it continues, but it could be, you know, other ones in the history. But this is very important to acknowledge through the decolonial perspective. That's, for example, part of my writings are saying in relation with many of our more acknowledged and important writers like Aníbal Quijano or Walter Mignolo or Rita Segato, or the coloniality of the gender by Maria Lugones, who unfortunately passed away very few months ago. So I think, thank you very much to being here. Thank you, Voluspa. And Claudia, I give you our, I don't know, Voluspa, if you want to say something at the end. ¿Quieres decir algo al final?
No, puedo saludar y agradecerte una vez más, y no sé, Claudia, si hay preguntas o no. No hemos llegado a los 30 minutos, así que...
Yeah. Yo creo que no hay preguntas que quieran hacer.
But I think it's important, Claudia, to tell the people how they can find the book and where more information related to the book, right?
Yeah. You can find more information about the book in our website, www.puro-chile.cl. And the book you can be found from January in the main specialization bookstores in the world, and also you can buy from our website. And in our website you can ask for the book since now, and from December we can ship the book for everywhere in the world. And again, thank you so much, Agustín and Voluspa, for the interesting conversation and explanation about the book. There's a book that have many layers to understand. The overview that you gave us is really a good guide for how to start to read this complete book about your participation in the Venice Biennale and in this project that is more than the exhibition that you have done in Venice. Thank you so much again, Frankfurt Book Fair, and all the institutions that made us possible to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody who is present in this space. Bye, and have a
Thank you.
nice...
Bye. Thank you very much, Claudia. Thank you very much, Voluspa. Bye.